This drum technique is too good. Here's why. Yo, what up, man? It's your boy NBN back again with another one. Like I said, man, I'm going to be hitting y'all with it, man. I'm not going to give up. So, you've been having a problem with your 808 and your kicks. The one that sound louder than the other, or it just sound too muddy. Today, I'm going to show you some techniques to help you with that. It doesn't just take the 808 and the kick. Did a video for that also, which I'll throw a link up here to let you guys check that video out. That'll help you getting your music to sounding right in your car. When you mixing, it's the mind into it. All these videos I'm producing to you guys and giving to you guys is going to help y'all get through all this, man. I give you guys all the gems. I don't hold nothing back. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Also leave comments below. All I ask is, man, if y'all check out the merch store, man, you know, it's a few little items up there, but man, you know what we got to do, man. We got to roll that intro first. Let's get it. All right, yo, so let's get started. First off, we got the kick and we got the 808 up. I'll play them both real quick so you guys can hear it. I actually did a tutorial, but now I'm going to go in detail of how to do this by adding every plugin so you guys will get a better understanding. That way the plugin just won't be loaded. You guys can follow step by step. Now, like I said, these techniques is going to help you. Let's play it. All right, so that's the 808 and the kick. So when you producing your track, are you making your beat? Say for instance, like if I double click here, it's gonna pull up my MIDI files. Now, sometimes when we hit our kicks, as you can see at the bottom down here, I got my level all the way up on my kicks. So if you get a chance, just make sure you highlight all these, turn them all the way up, and then you'll hear more of a thump to your kick, and that'll help you right there too. Also do it with the 808 also. Now, the first thing I do with my kick is I like my kick to be around -12 dB. So you don't have to gain stage this unless you got wave files and they're just too high, they're screaming. But these are MIDI files, so you don't have to really do no gain staging in this program. That's what I do like about Ableton. So you can just actually bring the volume down to -12 dB. Now, the thing about this kick is that it sounds like a little knock, like a little hollow knock on the door. It's not hitting hard enough for me. I want this kick to actually beat a little harder. So one of the very first things I would do is, first I like to put this drum in mono. So just make sure your kick is in mono if you got a chance. Make sure it's in mono. So if you got Ableton Live, man, you can go up to the utility plugin right here, drag that down, click mono, and then the kick will be in mono. All right, cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is, what I like to do is I like to add a little EQ to it. Like I said, I just roll off a little bit in the low, around 24 hertz. And then I don't necessarily like to use the EQ inside of Ableton, but I'll use it for this tutorial purpose only. So if I did, it would be the EQ8. I find that this EQ don't really cut like it's supposed to. I don't know how to explain that, but I don't know, man. It works for me, you know what I mean? So, but I don't use this. I like to use Fab Filter, but I'm gonna use the stock plugins right now so you guys can get a feel of it. So what I like to do is take this band, turn it to a low cut, boom, and then I'll take this to 24. Boom. And I like to roll it right there about 24. And that'll be fine right there. Now, if your 808 have a thing called like a drag at the end, like once you hit the kick, I mean, not the 808, your kick, you hit it and it's like boom. But then at the end, you hear boom, tss, boom, tss. You hear that? You can also roll that off by going to the fourth band and taking that to a high pass. But then you want to drag this, with that, you may want to drag it back and just bring it in a little bit and find out where that is, find out where the little hiss is at the end. I don't know, maybe some of y'all get that, but I've got that from a few drums that I have purchased from Splice or some other companies or whatever. But I would have to take a high pass filter and just roll a little bit off until I don't hear that no more. But in this case, I don't have to do that, so I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna use this. Now you're not gonna hear a big difference with just cutting this off. But like I said, all the instruments sit between the 808 and the kick sits between 0 to 100. So anything in that frequency area, you definitely want to cut off with the other instruments, like I explained in the other tutorial. I believe it's before this one. Now the next thing I like to do is I want to add a little spunk to my kick. So Ableton has a dope plugin, which is the glue compressor. You can use the glue compressor. And with this one, you can actually turn on the soft clip so that your beat doesn't clip, which I do love. I love about that because you won't see your kick hitting in the red. So soft clips help. A soft clip helps a whole lot. And then what I like to do is I like to turn the attack down, and I don't mess with the release. So now, only thing we're gonna do with this plugin is add some makeup gain to it. And as we add that, you're gonna notice the kick hits a lot harder as you do this. These is one of the steps, and then I'm gonna show you another step to get, like if you don't like the way your kick is sounding, you can actually use something else. Now, I'm gonna use the glue compressor. Check it out. Now, as you can see, it started adding a little more punch to it. And that's the dope part about it. Like, you can roll with this if you want to, if you like that. But if you don't like the way your kick sound, you can always change the character of the kick, the sound of the kick, which Waves, like I said, Waves has a plugin. Waves have a plugin called Torque, which is pretty dope, where you can change the sound of your kick. And then I'll show you how to use that as well. I'm going to use the Torque Mono. Now with this, you want to play the kick and you want to listen for the frequency where you want the kick to hit the hardest at. So you may want to do it at 229 if that's where your kick is sitting. So let's see. So I'll play it and then I'll use Torque, and then we'll use the actual threshold to bring the kick up a lot, to change the character of the kick. So let's play it. So I like it around 138. So now what we're gonna do is I like to take the threshold up a little bit, right there to 40. And I'm not gonna change the speed. I'm not gonna mess with the trim or anything. I'm not gonna mess with the output. Only button I'm gonna push now is Torque. And let's bring it to the left a little bit. And those are like techniques I use for the kick. There's many more, but I don't want to drag too long with this tutorial showing you that and, doing too much time. I know some of y'all predominant, y'all like, hey, there's too much talking. Now, so we're going to move on to the 808. 808, which is kind of similar. So we go to the 808. We're going to go to, now the first thing with the 808 I like to do, let's play it. So as you can see, the both of them are fighting right now with each other. So it just sound overstacked. Like, and I hear a lot of beats that people make, that be on certain websites or whatever. I hear a lot of beats being made, and the drum and the 808 just sound like it's clashing. Like there's no side chaining to it or anything going on. So what we do now is the same thing with the 808. We want to add a utility plug-in, which what we're gonna do is drive it straight up the middle. You know, make it a mono 808. Most people use bass mono, but I like to use mono. So that's that. And let's listen to it with mono on. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up. Let's see. Like I said, I'm gonna use the stock plugins. I'm gonna use the EQ8. Now with this one, I'm gonna also do the same thing. I'm gonna roll off 24 hertz, low cut. Take that to 24. 24. Enter. Now with the number 2 band, I'm gonna take this band. I'm gonna take the frequency to 65. So let's type 65. Now, with the Q button, I'm going to take this up to about, I would say about, let's go 8. Now I'm going to cut around 65 to kind of clean the bass up a little bit on a kicking part where it thumps out a little bit. I'm going to cut into this because when I get ready to master, this is what I'm going to be bringing up in my master to make my 808 sound a lot thumpier. So I'm going to cut into this. About, let's see, I'll go about 8. Let's slice this a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, I like that. Now, another thing I like to do with the 808 is, let's see, the next thing with the 808, we're going to be adding some saturation to it, adding a little drive to it. So once we add the saturation to it and a drive, it's going to push that 808 to hit a lot harder than what it's doing right now. The saturation, to me, is a dope plug-in. So when you get in the car, you're able to hear the 808 a lot more than when it's just a regular raw 808. Now you're going to change the character of the 808 by giving it a little more bang by using a saturated plug-in. So if you're in Ableton, whatever DAW you're in, just use a saturated plug-in. But I don't think they're the same like Ableton. Like that's what I'm telling people. That's why I've been using Ableton lately, because my mixing has like greatly improved. Like it's crazy. So let's go ahead. Let's start by adding a little drive to it. And then for the saturation, we're going to be pushing the bass plug-in a little bit. So check it out. The bass knob, I mean. Now, what we want to do here is we want to actually, and this is another thing I like, that the saturator on here also have a soft clip. So we want to enable that. And then let's go ahead and add some drive to it. And then if you notice, when you look at my master channel, you see there's no clipping going on. There's no clipping going on with the kick. There's no clipping going on with the 808. So the good part about that is when you're mixing your beat, you're able to push that kick in that 808 a lot more than what you're doing right now. You can actually bring that up a little bit when you're mixing your vocals. So if your vocals is sounding all, crazy, and now you want to bring that 808 up a little bit to make it hit, you know what I mean, to where it's following that verse, man, you got all the options now to push that bass. So that'll be a good thing. And now the next step I like to do, and this is kind of like the final step, I like to take the regular compressor on here, which has a sidechain button. Now you can sidechain in Logic, so you can follow along with this. Logic also have a sidechain button that you can click on and add the kick to it. So we're gonna sidechain the 808 to the kick. We want the kick to knock a little harder than the 808, but at the same time, they're not clashing anymore. They're actually sounding more like, we're together, but in a range of, we're gonna make the music sound good. So let's add the compressor to it. Boom. And these are dope techniques to learn, man. Like I said, I got a lot, man. I mean, I want to save those for other videos. I just want to give y'all everything on this one. So with compressor, what you want to do is leave the ratio alone. The ratio alone, leave that alone. What I like to do is take the attack button, boom, bring that down, and then the compressor, open it up right here, and then hit sidechain. Now you want to sidechain it from the kick. So you're gonna click on the kick button, boom. Now, the only thing we're gonna push in here is the threshold. We're gonna bring that down as the kick and the 808 go. Listen for the 808 to tuck under the kick a little more to hide the 808 a little bit, but it doesn't clash. So let's do that right now. So you can see right there what we did was we tucked that 808 up under that kick to make it sound better. Man. And yeah, man, them are pretty much the techniques I use to get the 808 and the kick to sound better. So use this tutorial, man, to your best advantage, man, and I guarantee you your kicks and your 808s will sound a lot better. This was a simple little small tutorial for you. I'm gonna start doing more of these too, because I believe these tutorials will help you out a lot more too, to add to your beat mixing. When you go to the beat mixing tutorials, it'll help you a lot more. So man, it's your boy MBM. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Go ahead, man, subscribe to the channel. Much love. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Look, man, that's how you get your 808 and your kick. Man, I showed you guys some techniques, man, on the drums, on the 808s. Man, use these techniques, man, and your music gonna sound good. It's your boy MBM. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Much love, and I'm out.